Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share about the multitude of investigations into Donald Trump and his allies. As you all likely know by now, partisan hack Judge Eileen Cannon pulled little Donnie into her bosom. She rocked him to sleep again. No, but seriously, she may as well have done that because she overruled the special master and she let Trump off the hook. Cannon said that Trump's team no longer has to comply with the special master request for them to submit in writing a list of items that Trump claims that were planted at Mar-a-Lago by the FBI or documents that he says that he declassified. Cannon also pushed back the deadline for the review to December 16th. That's something that Trump's team also asked for, even though the special master, Judge Deary, said that he could get everything handled before the end of this month, before the end of October. According to Trump's attorneys, the DOJ seized almost 200,000 pages of documents from Mar-a-Lago. So they're saying that they don't believe they can sort through everything before the end of this month. So that was Thursday of last week. All of that went down. The following day, the Justice Department filed a fast track appeal with the 11th Circuit. That's the one that gave that scathing rebuke of Judge Cannon's initial orders. But they specifically weren't asking about this issue. What they're asking for this 11th Circuit to review and repeal is the appointment of the special master in general. They argued that precluding their investigators from reviewing everything, all of the thousands of even non-classified records that were seized at Trump's property, prevents them from performing a fulsome investigation. They wrote, quote, "The government is unable to examine records that were commingled with materials bearing classification markings, including records that may shed light on, for example, how the materials bearing classification markings were transferred to plaintiff's residence, how they were stored, and who may have accessed them. The records not marked as classified may also constitute evidence of potential obstruction and concealment or removal of government records." It's now also being reported that Trump's $3 million attorney, Christopher Kise, is clashing with some of Trump's other attorneys and advisors. According to several sources who spoke anonymously as typical, Kise has taken a step back from the Mar-a-Lago case because he believes that Trump should try to calm the situation. Others are saying, no, escalate. What he's saying is now that the DOJ has all of the documents back, he thinks that Trump can avoid being indicted by being more cooperative and less combative. I think Kise is probably laboring under the false belief that Trump made an honest mistake and that he had no nefarious intent. But anyway, the same report said that Trump's attorney, Christina Bobb, says that she is willing to be interviewed by the DOJ regarding her part in all of this mess. She has retained an attorney. And Trump's other attorney, Evan Corcoran, has been advised by people to hire a criminal defense attorney for himself. He's not heeding that advice, though. So those are all of the updates regarding the classified documents case as of today. In regard to January 6th and Trump's alleged attempted coup, Ginny Thomas testified for several hours before the select committee. And I have to say, she is one bizarre lady. If you have not seen the video of her arriving and speaking with reporters, I highly recommend you check it out. I mean, she looks ready to strap on some blue sneakers and guzzle some Kool-Aid. And apparently she told the committee she still falsely believes that the election was stolen. So her Supreme Court justice husband absolutely needs to recuse himself from all future proceedings involving the election, Donald Trump, everything. Around that same time last week, Boris Epshteyn testified before the grand jury down in Atlanta, Georgia. He's admitted to taking part in the fake electors plot, although he says that, they weren't doing anything wrong. This was all totally legit. The DOJ is also investigating his role in that scheme to overturn the election. I also have some Mike Lindell updates. As I've shared with you guys, Lindell is suing the FBI. He's trying to get his phone back and any data that they took off of the phone. He's now trying to obtain a copy of the affidavit that was submitted to the court, which was used to obtain the warrant to seize his phone. The affidavit, as you would imagine, would likely contain details about their investigation. They don't want to make those public, right? Because they could tip off other witnesses, other maybe targets of the investigation. They would give them a heads up. It would allow people to coordinate their stories, potentially destroy evidence. So the DOJ is opposing the release of that affidavit. And the judge said that he wants to review motions from both parties. So we'll see what happens with that. It was also revealed in court during these proceedings that one of the warrants filed in this case was accidentally left unredacted in parts. And it showed Mike Lindell's full phone number and his partial social security number. Not good. In other Lindell news, he and his BFF, Tina Peters, seem to be having a little bit of a tiff. They're having a little bit of trouble getting their story straight regarding the breach of voting equipment. So Peters, as you guys probably recall, she's been indicted on numerous charges for allegedly facilitating the illegal access and copying of voting machine data. This is in Mesa County, Colorado. To accomplish what she did, Peters gave so-called auditors the county ID, like a key card, of a software engineer, like a legitimate software engineer, is a man named Gerald Wood. So that gave them access to this government building. Well, according to Peters, Wood was in on the whole thing. She said that he allowed her to use his ID card for this specific purpose. Wood disputes this. He says, no, I'm a victim too. The election officials asked for my ID badge back without explanation. I didn't understand why they wanted it. Peters also, on a recent podcast, said that Mike Lindell was paying this man's legal fees. He was paying for Wood's attorney. Lindell disputes Peters' story as well. Lindell told a news outlet, quote, I don't know who he is, so I did not pay for that. I never paid for anybody's lawyers there. He further stated, quote, if she said that, she's misconstrued. Peters will be going on trial, by the way, on March 6th. So we're going to see how all this goes. My final quick update is about the defamation lawsuit filed against Trump by columnist E. Jean Carroll. This is the case that sprang from allegations that he raped her back in the 90s. You might remember, I've talked about this recently. Trump said, oh, she's not my type. He was very dismissive. He denied the allegations. So she sued him for defamation. Trump is scheduled to sit for a deposition in the defamation trial this month on October 19th. Carroll's attorney is also said to be considering calling Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to also come in for a deposition because Trump said that Kushner was one of a handful of people with whom he discussed this case. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for now. I'll let you know when I hear more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.